We are just a few hours away from crowning a brand new WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. This Saturday morning, for all of us wrestling fans out here in the United States, Night of Champions takes place from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And the winner of the Monday Night Raw bracket, Seth freaking Rollins, faces off against the winner of the Friday Night SmackDown bracket in the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, in a match that promises to be match of the night at Night of Champions. And I have no doubt that it should be match of the night because the stakes for this match are absolutely high. You're able to crown a brand new world champion, something that hasn't really been done since 2016 from the Universal Championship, where Seth Rollins was also a part of that. He lost that match against Finn Balor. He beat Jinder Mahal way back in 2012 in the very first NXT Championship match. So he's one for two, in these championship tournament finals. Can he get the second win? Can he win this third match in his career, this time against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles? You already know my answer. My answer for this tournament final is that Seth frickin' Rollins walks out with the world's heavyweight championship firmly around his waist. This man, Seth frickin' Rollins, is the most over guy on Monday Night Raw, along with Cody Rhodes. And the fact of the matter is, if AJ Styles were to win this championship, AJ Styles is a SmackDown superstar. He just reunited with the OC. You got that group over on Friday nights. But Triple H already made the announcement that the World's Heavyweight Championship is going to be exclusive to Monday Night Raw, meaning if AJ Styles beats Seth freaking Rollins, which it could still happen at Night of Champions. There's no doubt about that. You just never know with these things. Because we got Money in the Bank right around the corner. They could flip titles once again right then and there. But if AJ Styles were to win this match, and that puts AJ Styles back on Monday Night Raw, effectively breaking him away from the OC. Which I don't think is a move WWE is trying to do at this moment in time. I think this tournament final is just a matter of the best match you're able to deliver. Rollins, AJ Styles, you give it to the fans. It's going to be one hell of a fight between these two men. As simple as that. And to me, there are a lot of reports currently on wrestling news websites saying that this match is set to open the show. I hope it's not, because frankly, it is the most important match on the card. It should be the main event of Night of Champions, crowning a brand new World's Heavyweight Champion. It's the only match on the card that guarantees a brand new champion being crowned. So that's why it should be the main event. But again, not in control. So just with that, Seth freaking Rollins for the win right then and there. Now, the second most important match on the card is a basic singles match that they have tried to build up as a fight between Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Now, tensions have gotten high between these two men over the past few weeks, even getting to the point of this Monday Night Raw, Brock Lesnar breaking Cody Rhodes' arm in storyline. Because if Cody's arm was truly broken, there was no way he was going to be competing on this show at all. No, that Kimura lock on Monday Night Raw is a storytelling tool to further push Cody Rhodes further in his quest to finish his story and become world champion in WWE. And Brock Lesnar is a man, a beast, a behemoth that he has to get over to get to that point. And frankly, he will. Because ever since Brock Lesnar returned back at SummerSlam 2021, for the most part, barring a few WWE title reigns, a few WWE title matches, His main goal has been to put over superstars or to face off against superstars that he can try to elevate. Omos, Bobby Lashley. Now Cody Rhodes. He elevated Roman Reigns, giving him the WWE Championship at last year's WrestleMania, cementing him as a true tribal chief of WWE. So with that said, Cody Rhodes beats Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. There's no doubt in my mind right now. Because this feud, this rivalry has to continue. It cannot end on a basic singles match at Night of Champions. It will not end with just that. But in order for this feud, this rivalry to keep going, Lesnar has to keep losing and has to keep losing his mind, losing his cool, and keep going after Cody Rhodes, broken arm and all. In storyline again, I did like the little touch of Triple H confronting Cody Rhodes at the end of Monday Night Raw, saying that he's not going to be cleared to compete for the fight at Night of Champions against Lesnar. And Cody Rhodes just completely dismissing it, saying that he will compete no matter what. So we'll just wait and see if that leads to some more story points down the line on Monday Night Raw. Do I really want Triple H as a heel authority figure again? Probably not, but after Lesnar, you do need some type of foil for Cody Rhodes to keep on chasing the World Championship. So we'll just have to wait and see for that. For now, Cody Rhodes wins this match as well, just like he did at Backlash. Probably not with such a quicker match, but again, a lot of stuff can happen. We've got the tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. Now, this match might main event the show, which I wouldn't be too happy with, because again, it's the tag team titles, and frankly, yes, the story in it is brewing. It is starting to pick back up again. It's no longer about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn anymore. It's about the bloodline. It's about Roman Reigns sending a message to his cousins in the Usos. Roman Reigns utilizing Solo Sikoa, the Usos' very own brother, against the Usos. And we saw it on SmackDown. Roman Reigns called the Usos out for their 2 losses to Owens and Zayn. He called them out for dedicating the rematch, the match that they were supposed to win, but they didn't win, that they lost they dedicated that match to Roman Reigns, and the tribal chief obviously was not happy. So now the story is Reigns and Solo Sikoa challenge for the tag team titles. And in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, Reigns and Sikoa walk out new tag team champions, which again, I wouldn't be completely fond of, because that means WWE is out of tag team titles again because Roman Reigns refuses to show up on a weekly basis, let alone defend his titles. But I was going over social media, and a lot of people talked about how the Usos might be a bigger factor to this match. Now, the Usos aren't advertised to accompany Reigns and Sikoa out there in the tag team title match, but they might just interfere on behalf of the tribal chief, and maybe they might cost him the tag team titles. That might come into play. That might be a factor. That might be the next story thread, the next chapter in the Bloodline's upcoming dissolution and disbandment, implosion of the Bloodline. That might come into effect. Now, for me, I think we're in May. We're about to go into June. I think it's still a little bit too early to break the Usos away from the Bloodline. And if the Usos do cost Reigns and Sikoa the tag team titles at Night of Champions, it's going to be hard for them to stay in the Bloodline. So again, I have my doubts when it comes to that, but I just feel like that would be the only way Owens and Zayn retain the tag team titles, because pretty much Reigns and Sikoa have been unstoppable in WWE. They haven't been pinned. They haven't been submitted. and or a double DQ, double countout, which again isn't the best foot forward for the tag team titles. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of story they got to play out for the Bloodline in the upcoming weeks and months. So for now, I'm gonna stick with my pick, which is Reigns and Solo Sikoa beat Owens and Zayn and become the brand new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, and we get Roman Reigns for belts. We'll just have to wait and see. We have a singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, the Nightmare herself, defends with Dom Dom by her side in her corner, of course. She defends against the self-proclaimed GOAT, the best of all time, in Natalya, in a feud, in a rivalry, in a match that absolutely came out of nowhere. A match that, frankly, we did not need, and much like with AEW, when they just set up opponents for Reigns to continue, this is the exact same case. Now, at least at Backlash, you had Zelina Vega with her Puerto Rican descent in that match. That made sense. In this case, it's just another transitional match to lengthen Rhea Ripley's current title reign. I'm not expecting a squash. I don't think Natalya deserves that, but I am expecting Rhea Ripley to put Natalya away in quick fashion. Because once again, the character, the challenger in this case, the challenger, which is Natalya, her character is not poised to be SmackDown Women's Champion anytime soon. So Rhea Ripley for the win right here. We got a singles match between Becky Lynch, the man, against the Hall of Famer, Trish Stratus. 1-on-1. And this is a little bit hard to pick a winner for, because I firmly believe this is going to be a 3-match series. It's going to be a 3-match feud. You got to keep Becky Lynch away from the Raw, it's going to get confusing. The SmackDown Women's Champion current on Raw, Rhea Ripley. You got to keep them away from each other for now. I think that's a match, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, maybe for SummerSlam, maybe for after SummerSlam. I don't know. So just based on that, I gotta give the win to Trish Stratus at Night of Champions. Because this feud, this rivalry has to continue. Trish Stratus has talked a lot of smack about Becky Lynch and her daughter. And Trish has to cheat to win. She has to sneak her way to a victory at Night of Champions against the man, Becky Lynch. That way this feud continues into Money in the Bank in London, where Becky Lynch gets her win and then Becky Lynch ends the feud at SummerSlam. That might go down. But for now, Trish Stratus with the win. That way, more layers are added to this feud, this rivalry. Trish gets something to brag about on Monday Night Raw the following week. So with that said, Trish for the win. The singles match for the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And frankly, in the past, week and a half, 2 weeks, WWE has done a better job, a much better job at building this match up than they did for their WrestleMania matchup. Just the segment alone where Asuka spits mist into Bianca's face, that alone was better than the build heading into WrestleMania for this Raw Women's Championship match. And I think it's time to take the title off of Bianca Belair. Now, on Monday Night Raw, with the previous rosters, Bianca Belair had entirely run through her competition on Raw. There was absolutely nobody to take the title off her, which is why I fully expected Trish Stratus to take the title off her. That's not going to be the case anymore. But Asuka needs to get back to winning ways. Her character, she needs to become unstoppable once more. And Bianca Belair has been unstoppable for 3 years now. A loss to Asuka won't hurt her, not in my opinion. But we'll just have to wait and see. For now, Asuka becomes brand new Raw Women's Champion at Night of Champions. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And finally, the Intercontinental Championship is going to be defended at Night of Champions once again. This time, Gunther defends his title against Mustafa Ali. And Gunther is going to retain. He will retain this title. Absolutely no doubt about that. The segment we saw on Monday Night Raw where Brock Lesnar just pretty much, get a life, kid. That was hilarious, by the way. But Mustafa Ali has done absolutely nothing, character-wise, storyline-wise, at all in the past 2-3 years to warrant such a victory over the Ring General for the Intercontinental Championship. He will not end his historic title reign anytime soon. Now, on social media, I believe there might be a thing, I have to double check this, but Mustafa Ali might have said that if he lost this title match against Gunther at Night of Champions, he would be leaving WWE. Again, I'd have to double check that. I don't know how that would come into play because, believe it or not, he will lose this title match. It will be a great match, no doubt. At some point, I think Mustafa Ali challenged Brock Lesnar at some point. Or maybe it was Ricochet. It might be one of the two. I firmly believe it's going to be pretty much the same blueprint in terms of how the matchup will go. But nonetheless, Gunther retains his Intercontinental Championship hands down. It's just that damn simple. So in the meantime, those are the predictions for Night of Champions this Saturday morning in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. 7 matches on the card for this WWE's premium live event, what they're calling it right now. I'm expecting a pretty good show. Let's see how it goes down. But in the meantime, tune in later on tonight to Fox for another episode of SmackDown. It's not live, it is taped. It was taped last week because obviously with Night of Champions taking place tomorrow morning for us here in the United States, there was absolutely no way for them to do a live SmackDown and then fly all the way to Saudi Arabia and do a live Night of Champions in just 12 hours? That's the amount of time that it would take. It might take even longer to get to Saudi Arabia. So with that said, if you know the spoilers, just keep them to yourself. Let people who haven't read spoilers, who want to watch SmackDown later on tonight, enjoy the show. I believe we also have Rampage on TNT for AEW as well. So again, we have a great weekend coming up. We have Battleground, Night of Champions, and Double or Nothing this weekend. Fantastic weekend of professional wrestling for all wrestling fans around. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.